Well, good morning and welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. It is Saturday, July the 30th, and we are live here at Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130 for the Minnesota Real Estate Show, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. on Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130. My name is Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate Team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Happy you are here. Happy you're joining us. We're going to go live on the air just in about a minute or so. But this is a show that's hosted by Scott Wohlmering of the WE Team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus, Mike Overson of Luminate Home Loans, and my name is Ryan O'Neill again. Thanks for joining us. Good morning to you all. Mike and Scott are very close by, and they will be joining us. But we've got a fun show today. We've got a lot to talk about with the current market that we're in from a real estate standpoint, from a mortgage standpoint, a lot going on, and we always welcome your questions, calls. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us by phone or text. 612-294-6949. Or again, throughout the wherever you might be catching our stream, don't hesitate to comment. We're on LinkedIn, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and again, we're happy you're joining us here today. Scott, Mike, top of the morning to you there, guys.
Yeah, sorry we're late to the party. Hi, everybody. Thanks for tuning in.
Better be late than never.
That's right. Thanks for tuning in. And if you've not caught the show before, like Ryan was saying, we are live local. Love your questions during the show. Just type it in on Facebook Live. We'll handle it. If you have any topics you want us to cover, you can also send those in. We'll make sure we do. And we're going to be going live here in about 30 seconds.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff to talk about. It's an interesting week. I know Mike's going to have a lot of good information to share about mortgage rates, what happened this past week, as well as from a real estate standpoint. Just sort of an interesting time here in the Twin Cities. Mike, you good to see you there, friend.
Good to see you, Ryan.
We're going live on air already. Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130. Thanks for tuning in, everyone. Good morning. Welcome to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us, everybody. It is the end of July 2022, and we are live here again at Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130, every Saturday morning for the Minnesota Real Estate Show, hosted by Mr. Overson, Mike Overson of Luminate Home Loans, Scott Wohlmering of the WE Team with RE/MAX Advantage Plus, and my name is Ryan O'Neill with the Minnesota Real Estate Team, RE/MAX Advantage Plus. Appreciate you tuning in, whether you're catching us live or on any of the social media streams. It's a fun show. It's an interactive show, and we're talking all things real estate, mortgage related. Scott, Mike, good morning, guys. Good to see you as always.
Yeah, you too. Welcome, everybody. If this is the first time you're tuning in, welcome to the show. If you're a return visitor, welcome back. We are live. We're local here in Golden Valley, so this is an interactive show, like Ryan said. Love your questions, 612-294-6949. You can call us at that number. You can text us at that number. And there are no dumb questions. We'll handle anything. It can be real estate related or it can be anything. We're kind of, one thing about being a real estate agent is you're kind of an expert in everything.
Maybe you are.
Relationships. If you're having problems in your dating life, I'll handle those questions. So anything that you want to ask.
Yeah, a lot of good stuff going on. Mike Overson, Luminate Home Loans, always doing a great job, friend. Thanks for tuning in. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me, fellas. Always appreciate it. It's funny you mentioned that your real estate agents are experts in everything, because some of the best real estate agents I know have their degrees in like stuff, like human relationship stuff, right?
Well, it's what it is. I mean, think about all the transactions that you have where you have a young couple, they're so excited, you sell them their first house, and they just are in love, and that it's the best thing in the world to buy a house. And then 4 or 5 years later, you get the call, hey, Scott, we're going to be going through a divorce, and then you end up helping them both buy their next houses. And so you better have a degree in
Psychology, sociology. It's like you name all those. It's like,
Yep, because there's a lot of emotions going on when that happens.
Yeah, real estate, as we've always said, is all about people and building relationships with people. And today, again, a lot going on, a lot to talk about with our current market. And again, feel free to join the discussion through social media or 612-294-6949. Excited today. We've got our friend Robbie from the morning show here helping us. Mike Dubs is out this weekend, so we're grateful for Robbie and his time coming in to help us here today. But Mike, let's dive in this first segment here. A pretty interesting week for interest rates, wasn't it?
yeah. Headlines read what this week?
Headlines read that the Fed increased rates
Yeah.
3/4 of a point. Increasing rates is
Right.
what I heard.
That's what you saw, right?
Yep.
So what happened to mortgage rates?
They went down.
Yep.
A lot, didn't they?
They went down quite a bit too. And everyone's going cross-eyed right now. It's like, what are you guys talking about?
It is amazing how people don't understand that. I mean, I got more calls about interest rates went up again. I'm like, no, short-term rates went up, mortgage rates went down.
Yep, exactly. That's what happened. The Feds came out on Wednesday, said, yep, we're going to raise their Fed's funds rate is what it's called, 3/4 of a point. So that just increased auto loan rates, home equity lines of credit, credit card rates, things like that went up. The short-term debt went up 3/4 of a point. What that effect that has on mortgages is that it actually lowers mortgage rates because mortgage rates are long-term debt. And when short-term debt goes up, long-term debt goes down. And so our rates, the beginning of the week, you're probably still looking close to 6% on a 30-year fixed. At the end of the week, you're looking closer to 5.375, 5.5.
Well,
Okay.
yeah, that's awesome.
I put a short video out on Facebook yesterday. I was meeting with a guy Friday, is my last meeting of the day on Friday, and he was in that 800 to 1.1 million range, putting 20% down, 4.625 on a 30-year fixed up in that jumbo range.
Wow,
Okay.
that's crazy.
Interesting numbers. Again, with mortgage rates going down. From a real estate standpoint, here's a snapshot in this first segment. What's going on from a buying and a renting analysis. The new listings here in the Twin Cities this past week went down. There were 12% less new homes that went on the market. There were 1,750 total. So again, 12% less. But
Than this exact time last year.
yeah,
Year over year.
year over year. And then pending sales or accepted offers down pretty significantly, almost 25% less pending sales than this last time. So there were 1,097. And the inventory continues to increase. Now we're 10% over year. We're at 8,441 active listings here in the Twin Cities. And the last number, before we comment here, guys, is they were talking about rental vacancy rates. And they said that rental vacancy rates have remained below 6% since the third quarter of 2021. And this is a 3-decade low. And then as demand continues to outpace rental supply, the rents on leases, which I know many have felt, have surged 14.1% this year, according to Apartment List. Typically 2 to 3% is an annual rent increase. 14% rent increase. That is not good.
Yeah, that's crazy. Well, and that's what we talk about on the show. You know, I've been hearing a lot over the last month or so. You know, agents will say, we're just back to a normal market. We're back to a normal market. This still is not a normal market. I mean, we only have 8,400 homes on the market. So, whenever I don't know what the market is, but I bet you it's under 30 days. And so, that's not a normal market. We're in a slowdown of an extremely aggressive market. It just feels so different because it was only 60 days ago where you couldn't keep a home on the market for a day and a half without having a ton of offers. But 18,000 homes is a normal market. We still only have 8,400 homes.
There's just no supply, and
Yeah.
that's hard for people to understand. To Scott's point, Mike, if you look at historical days on market, right now, again, we are at 21 days on market. And if you look at the bar graph that I'm gazing at right now, it is as high as back in 2011. Historical days on market was 160 average days on market. Right now, we are still way down there. So,
Well, and not to interrupt you, but you also have to remember that those 21 days have all the new construction in place, and those can have 300 days because they put them on as a to be build. So if you remove those, our average time on market is probably 15 days.
yeah, and that's hard. Again, we talked about it a little bit over the past month, that agents who've been in the business since the pandemic began really have never seen price reductions. Broker opens, a broker open, which is where, again, we invite our friends from all the different companies to come, hey, give us your analysis on this listing of mine because it's not selling. Those have always been very common. There's a lot of things in our industry that, again, for agents who have been doing this maybe for a year or two, haven't seen. But Scott and Mike, I'm hearing a lot of, I like this better as an agent because I can actually get a little time to go look at the home.
That's right.
And we can actually digest it and make a good offer and not have to do all these crazy things we've been doing to get deals done.
It is funny though. I got a call from an agent in a panic because she had a house on the market for 5 days, and she's only had 4 showings on it. And I just crack up because back in 2008, if you could get 5 showings in 6 months, you were jumping, you were excited.
Right.
And so just the mindset of, oh my gosh, we've been on the market for 5 days and it's not sold. What's going on? Is the sky falling? It's still a very, very good market. But to your point, if you've been a new agent in the last 3 years, you don't know any different.
Well, and last thing before the break is what I think happens in this kind of market is, from a consumer's perspective, again, when things are really good, there's less value placed in the realtor or the broker. And there's a lot of more discounting of commissions and different things for sale by owners that happen. As the market continues to shift, I think people realize that they maybe need a really good professional to help them through the process. And there's a little more value from builders and everybody else that, hey, maybe as agents, there is value for you in the transaction.
Yeah, it's amazing how those builders just all of a sudden came out of the woodwork. Oh my gosh, we love you guys. Bring your clients in. We'll give you this, we'll give you that, we'll give you our first part. It was 60 days ago, they were paying you $4.25.
Now they come out and be like, hey, give us enough sales, we'll make you a platinum agent, and we'll give you extra bonuses and blah, blah, blah.
Yes.
We're up against the first break here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Throughout the show, please don't hesitate to join us. If you have a question, comment, thought, 612-294-6949 is how you can interrupt us at any point. We love your questions on social media as well. This is the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thanks for joining us on social media, wherever you might be catching us. Always appreciate it. Hope your weekend's starting out well. It's almost State Fair time, guys. Mike, are we going to go to the State Fair to do our show?
For the show?
Yeah.
I think it's
we're going to do it?
That's a great idea.
Scott?
Last time we did that, crowd control was just so hard. We had people rushing the glass and knocking, trampling others. And
Scott didn't he is not a fan of the State Fair. I love the State Fair. He did not like it at all because we're just in a booth, but it's a little rigmarole to get in there.
Probably have to get the main stage, the grandstand.
That's right.
Probably. So we're back away.
Yes. So the people don't get hurt. That's my concern.
State Fair season. It will be nice to have a State Fair, though. I'm looking forward to it, guys. I think it'll be fun. But to your point, again, had a question come in regarding acceptance of offers. It looks like Tamara just said, are there FHA accepted offers now? Mike?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. A lot more FHA offers getting accepted right now. I mean, I got an FHA with down payment assistance accepted.
That's what you're saying.
A week and a half ago, and I haven't seen that in
How does that work? So is the 3.5% coming from another entity, or how does that work for people?
Yeah, so you
And
still
how do
need-
they qualify? How does somebody do that?
Yeah, so there's different qualifications. There's a minimum credit score you got to meet. There's a debt to income ratio limit on that. There's an income limit on it too, and the income limit's based on your household size and where you live. So there's a bunch of different factors you have to check. So can't tell you if you qualify or not until I have like a full application, because I got to go through the whole checklist. Do you meet this? Do you meet this? Do you meet this? And so on. But if you can get the down payment assistance, if you qualify, that down payment assistance is basically a second loan that you get to help cover the down payment requirement on the loan and to help cover closing costs too.
Okay.
Yeah, and the reason that you don't see them, especially in an aggressive market like this, we talk on the show a lot about, the pecking order of offers, cash being first, 20% down, 10% down conventional, then it falls down to FHA and VA. Well, if you've got an FHA and then all of a sudden you've got down payment assistance, that means you've got somebody that doesn't have any money. So when you look at that as which offer you're going to go with, you're going to look at, okay, they don't even have the 3.5% down. They're going to also need closing costs.
Yeah.
And so it's, it's just almost impossible to get those offers through. And in this market, as it loosens up, obviously.
We'll see a little bit more of it.
Maybe.
Yeah, again, for our veterans there, if you are a veteran, thank you for your service. You can start getting more and more deals accepted. Again, more VA, more FHA. Just in general, if you are a buyer, you may have more time to actually start looking if you've lost out over the past year, haven't been able to get a deal done. Re-engage with your agent again. You may be surprised with this current market. But from a rental standpoint, guys, I just want to go back to that. Oh, actually, we're going live on air here. Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130. Yeah, welcome back. Nice to see you. Thanks for tuning in. Hope your weekend's going well. It is the 30th. Can you believe it? It is the 30th of July. The year's gone by too fast. We were just talking about, can you get FHA offers done? And I got to give a nice shout out to my friend, Rashawn Shaver. He's an awesome agent on the Minnesota real estate team. He just commented, he said, just got an FHA offer with down payment assistance accepted as well. Awesome work. Congratulations. Very well done. But yeah, very interesting, Scott.
Yeah, we were just talking on the break that so an FHA offer, again, pecking order of offers, when you've got multiple offers is cash first, then you're at 20% down, then 10% conventional, et cetera, then FHA and then VA. And if you have an FHA offer and then you are needing to get down payment assistance, which means it's a secondary loan of the 3.5% down, you're also going to need closing costs paid. It's a very, very tough loan to get through because the person doesn't have any money. So it's going to make everybody nervous. So the fact that we're starting to see those offers kind of emerge again is kind of crazy, Mike.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I almost was like, what is that?
Yeah.
What type of loan is that?
It's like a unicorn.
Yeah, it's almost like a dinosaur. They just, I mean, in that crazy market that we're in, you just didn't see it. I mean, I hate almost to say it, but you almost don't even want to make those offers. It's like not even worth your time to submit that offer because there's going to be 20 offers going on in this house. And unfortunately for those buyers that are in that situation, very tough to get those through. But now, like we were saying a couple weeks ago, there's a couple ways to win in this market. One of those ways is if you were an FHA buyer, a down payment assistance buyer, now you have an opportunity where you can, potentially get your offer accepted.
Had a text message question come in from Jenna. Jenna just said, if I go online to one of the various websites, how do I know who the agent will be and what kind of agent I will have that will meet me to show me the property?
You don't. It depends. It's a little bit of a crapshoot because on most of the sites, there's either a premier agent or basically, so if I'm a listing agent, I can pay the different sites to make sure that anytime there's an inquiry on one of my listings, it comes to me. So you'll see an agent's picture there, but that does not mean that agent is necessarily the listing agent, because if they're not paying to be a premium agent every site's different, you really are not going to know. It's kind of a spin of the wheel. You're going to be handed off because they make their money by leads, and you become a lead. And so the only way that you can actually know who the listing agent is would be if you had access to MLS, which you do not. where you can actually see who the legitimate listing agent is.
Yeah, what's happened over the last few years with the market is, again, during the pandemic, with record numbers of closings, record numbers of sales, and a lot of job transition from people in different industries. A lot of people got into real estate sales, of course, and some very wonderful additions with, again, all the different brokers across the Twin Cities. And I think, Scott, we saw the same thing back during the other kind of heightened time in the market where a lot of agents got into business. But I think what's starting to happen now with this slowdown, and again, 25% less accepted purchase agreements, we are going to see less agents in the business. We are going to see some people get out of the business. And I think that question about who shows you the property, that particular listing, it's important as a consumer for you to ask questions, just to ask that agent, some questions, regarding perhaps knowledge level, experience, some of those things to give you the best representation, Scott, because again, it is a business where, again, you get a license and you can go start showing homes and listing homes.
Yeah, and I totally agree. And luckily, what was her name that asked the question?
Tamara.
Tamara. Luckily, Tamara, you're listening to a radio show that has real estate agents that you can trust. And so we'd be happy.
You're terrible.
We'd be happy to help you out.
Yeah. Mike, don't you think though that's interesting because again, a lot of times, and I'm sure it's the same maybe in the mortgage industry, you've seen a lot of people get into the business. You're a little different where you guys are W-2'd, right? So they have to, so the owner has to pay your people a salary. So if they're not producing, they're going to get cut probably.
Pretty much, yeah. There's usually minimum production standards on the loan side of things because we do have to W-2, we have to provide benefits, all that stuff. So
real estate, there's not though with
No.
most companies. There's not that minimum production standard,
Right.
like you said.
yeah, so that's the thing. So on our side, it's it's per employee, it's costing a minimum of X per month to have them on your staff, and so then there's production standards obviously that got to come into place too. Otherwise, it just costs money, to have a company keep you around.
Yeah, 612-294-6949. Again, 612-294-6949. Had another question come in. It said you guys talked last week regarding Airbnbs. I am thinking about doing one. What are my best next steps to explore Airbnb?
Very good question. First step is always to talk to Mike, applywithmike.com from a lending standpoint, because it's different buying an Airbnb than it is buying your own private home as far as down payment and so on. The second thing is to find an agent that you trust. And again, if you're listening to the real estate show, we'd be happy to help you. And then the most important thing in finding it is the location. So if you're buying something, for example, in the Twin Cities, being on a lake is awesome. Being downtown with really good walking scores, meaning there's restaurants and there's lots of things to do around wherever your unit is going to be. And then talking to the municipality to make sure that they allow it. And if it's in a condo building, that the association or that rental, it wouldn't be a rental, you'd be buying it. So whether that condo building would even allow an Airbnb to be in there.
Speaking of associations, I was having a chat with a good friend of mine. And again, we've got a couple phone lines ringing here. 612-294-6949 is how you can join us. Associations. It seems like some people I've met over the years who get into an association and they don't like the micromanagement of being in an association. Maybe having to have your lawn or bushes a certain way, having to have this a certain way, that a certain way, a variety of different things. That can be hard, guys.
Oh, it is. I've had people through the years that have been in their townhome for a month and call and say, sell it. I can't handle it.
Can't handle the association.
And if you think about it logically, the reason that those guidelines are in place is the uniformity to keep everything nice. I know you want to put a spinach garden in the backyard, but it's we're not going to let you do that because it's going to make the entire development look crappy. Right? I understand you want to put a blow up pool, which should be outlawed at all costs anywhere. But we're not.
Hey, I like
but
those.
We're not going to allow you to do it.
I like those.
Hey, you know what?
We got to call
Go
it.
ahead.
Yes, I'm not going to let you go on a tangent. Hey, we're going to go to our friend Richard calling from St. Paul. Richard, thanks for calling the Minnesota Real Estate Show, and how can we best help?
Okay, I own some property up north, and I bought it here a few years ago, and I never transferred the property over. What can I do to transfer the property over to my name now?
To transfer it over. So was there an actual closing that took place, Richard?
No, it wasn't. No, I just bought it from my brother-in-law at the point in time.
Oh, I see. Oh, okay.
I never transferred over. He had to sell because he was going through a divorce, and I just more or less paid him for the property. I never did anything after that.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good question. It's a really good question, Scott.
Well, you need to get a deed signed down at the county. What I would probably do, the easiest way, is I'd probably call a title company. So where up north is it, Richard? Okay, yeah, I would just Google any title company. If there's a Remax in town, they'll have a title company. So you can just Google a Remax, and basically a closer would just end up doing the paperwork for you and transferring it over, and then putting the deed in place.
Yeah, we can also help too, Richard. Maybe after the show, we'll get your number. We work with some great companies here in the Twin Cities. One in particular, I can think of, a Trademark Title.
Yeah.
That Charity and Eric Mullenberg do a great job. I'm sure they would be happy to help you out. Yeah, we will call you for sure. And Richard, are you going to go to the state fair?
No. I'm not doing things now. It's too hard for me to walk around, and that's a lot of walking out there.
It is. Yeah, I stay away from the state fair, Richard. But yeah, leave your number with Robbie, and we'll make sure that Trademark Title gets in touch with you.
You know, Richard, I bet Scott would probably give you a piggyback ride around the state fair if you wanted to go.
Right. That's right. I do that for my clients.
Hey, thanks. Yeah, thanks for listening. Hope you have a nice weekend. Okay, Richard. Yeah, nice guy. Nice guy. He's not. That is the thing about the state fair. I do agree. A lot of walking, too much walking sometimes. Yeah.
It's fun. It's fun people watching, and I do go to the state fair with my kids, but we're in and out in about 45 minutes. We do the food run that we like to do, and then we kind of get out of there. Hey, speaking of kids, I'd like to say a special congratulations to my last child, graduated from high school. Today is his graduation party. Aiden, he graduated summa cum, thank God, that he made it through, and so that's today. So
Summa cum laude.
Summa cum, thank God.
Yeah.
Yeah, meaning not summa cum laude. No, he's a great kid, but he's not a bookworm.
He is a wonderful young man. Congratulations, Aiden. Congratulations, Andrea and Scott Wolmering. Two very good people, great parents. Congratulations. Well done there, Dad.
Yep, we're proud of him, and he's actually going to be moving to Arizona.
Wow.
Yep, going to go down and live with my oldest daughter in Arizona and go to school.
All right, very cool. We're at the halfway point here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Welcome your questions like Richard, 612-294-6949. The second half of the show, we're going to try to get Mike to do just something unusual that maybe he's never done before. We'll be back after the break. What do you think about that, Mike?
Karaoke?
I'll tell you what, I am literally the worst singer.
You need to go on that show.
I am so bad. I'll do karaoke once every 10 years, and I literally get booed off the stage. Off it.
I had a comment here from Kyle Sullivan. Kyle, what's the best way to introduce Pinnacle Insurance of Minnesota to myself and your team? I can definitely reach out after the show, Kyle, just to kind of go over a little bit how we work with our various partners that we have with the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Again, if you go to mnrealestateshow.com, that's where you can find all of our great partners who help, most importantly, our clients, buyers, sellers, investors. and all of the agents on the Minnesota real estate team. Again, we're a team that's based all over the Twin Cities. Within a few hours, any direction of Minneapolis, St. Paul, we have a top agent on the team who knows your area, knows neighborhood, price point, type of home. And Scott, how do you see the remainder, Mike, the last 6 months of the year going?
I think that we're going to see a pickup in the end of August. I've always kind of said that I think this kind of pause that we've got, so to speak, in the market is because everything came on so quickly. Just literally in 100 days, interest rates doubled. Luckily we're not in a recession. I mean, if we were in a recession,
We should talk
then
about that.
then
Let's talk about
I'd
that.
be really concerned.
Right.
Yes, but we're not, even though we just had 2 quarters of negative GDP, but we're not in a recession, so that's good. And so I think that we're going to see probably end of August where people are going to kind of get to a new norm, so to speak, that, hey, this is what it is. I think we're going to see appreciation level out, which we already have. If you look at sales in February and March and May, and you look at sales right now, in some cases, I would even argue that they've actually gone down a little bit. But I think we're going to see a flattening of that. And then I think it's going to be still, again, we've only 8,400 homes in the market. People have to live somewhere. So I think it's going to be fine. But I think we're going to have a little 90-day kind of kick in the teeth here.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of what is a recession, there was big discussion this week regarding Wikipedia. I don't know if you heard this, but the longtime definition was two quarters of negative GDP in a row. First quarter was, second quarter now was. So people are saying, look, it's a recession. Well, I guess Wikipedia has now held off on allowing the formal definition. In other words, it says, what is a recession? Wikipedia can't decide. Isn't that interesting?
It is. I mean, forever they've been very clear on it, but all of a sudden they're not.
Yeah, it says Wikipedia has frozen edits to its page for recession, halting a frenzy of changes to the entry after the Biden administration insisted the U.S. economy has not entered an economic downturn. I think, again, for what it's worth, seeing, the rising gas prices, rising food costs, rent, we talked about being up 16%. We just feel it, guys, because we're out in the trenches every day talking to people and seeing how hard it is. It's a difficult time for people.
Yeah, well, I mean, we didn't even have to have the negative two quarters of GDP. I mean, we're in a recession. I mean, gas prices are through the roof, food prices are through the roof, everything is through the roof. Wages have been frozen. The housing market is now slowing. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to know that we're in a recession. So the fact that they're not calling it one, no one's buying it. Everybody can, when you go fill your tank up, we're in a recession.
Right.
What do you think, Mike?
Yeah, I would say we are. And I think it'll get worse before it gets better.
For sure.
But that's also going to help interest rates go down. That's why I think at some point next year, we're going to see rates back in the fours.
Wow, you think next year rates will be back in the fours?
I think so.
Here we go. We're going back live on air. Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130. Hey, welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Thank you for tuning in. If you're catching us on social media, we are live on Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, a variety of different places. And of course, every Saturday, 10 a.m. to 11, live on Twin Cities News Talk, AM 1130. During the break, we were discussing Wikipedia halting any edits to the page for the definition of a recession. The longtime definition was 2 quarters in a row of negative GDP growth. Now there's a lot of discussion on both sides whether we are in a recession. Scott Wolmering does not believe we are in a recession.
Oh gosh, I'm so glad we're not, because when I go to the grocery store or I fill up my gas tank, man, I thought we were in a recession. And then Biden and those guys came out and they said, no. It's like the Jedi mind trick. Hey, we're in a recession. No, we're not. Oh, I guess we're not.
Jedi mind trick.
That's literally what it is.
Every arrow points to recession, but but your arrow doesn't.
Yeah.
And so then I guess we're not.
Yeah, no, we're not one.
Yeah, it is. Again, we're just talking a little bit with obviously the rising gas, food prices, and then specifically to real estate with the rents. Just talking to a lot of friends, family, folks who have, I've connected with this year who've talked about their increase in rent. Just a sizable increase, 16% increase in rents. Normally it's, 2 to 4%. It'd be interesting to talk to Scott Fisick, Mike, to see what he's seeing with rental management guys here in the Twin Cities. But 16% rent increase, that's unaffordable.
Yeah, it's nuts. Well, and that's the point of the recession again. In my definition, you're in a recession when things become unaffordable. I mean, and right now, across the board, everybody is losing money. Everything costs more than it did. Wages are pretty much frozen; they're not going up. And so, the housing market is now kind of hit not a wall, but a slowdown. I mean, all of those are indications of a recession. So they can call it whatever they want. The reality is, we feel it. Everybody listening to the show feels it. Everybody across the country feels it. So they can call it, whatever they want to call it. But it's a recession.
Yeah. There's an article I saw. It was actually a YouTube video that came out that I watched this week. There's a push to the government to come up with a solution to make more affordable housing.
Yeah.
And so one of the things they're talking about is building apartment units that would be rentals that are all called or considered micro units. Each unit in there is 350 to 500 square feet. And it's like an efficiency. It's just one room. You got a little bathroom to the side, but I mean, you're sleeping there, your kitchen, everything is just one room is 350 to 500 square feet. And you would just build these, very tall apartment buildings, basically, and every unit is there. And the goal is there to, because construction costs are so high, right, get a lot of units for your dollar and then make the units smaller so that they're affordable, to have more affordable housing. And so I was interested to hear that, because it's like, if we're not in recession and all these, if the government doesn't think that we're going on that path, then why are they trying to push for this?
That's right. Well, I mean, that's like Japan. I mean, that's how, because everything just gets taller and taller and taller and smaller and smaller and smaller. And something's got to give. And I think give in this case is that we're going to see a slowdown or a flattening in home prices. I don't think they're going to continue to go up like they have. And like Mike was saying, with the recession, within a year or whatever, I think we're going to be back in the 4% interest rates. So those two things combined will help. What has made this so uncomfortable is it's the first time in our history where we've had an inflationary period with skyrocketing housing prices and then a doubling of interest rates in such a short time.
Very quick.
Yeah, so it's one thing if you're in a housing market that's appreciating at 2% and rates go from 4% to 6%. Okay, it doesn't really change that much, because in the last 2 years, my house has only gone up $15,000. But in the last 2 years, your house has gone up $115,000. And now all of a sudden we double interest rate. Well, that hurts.
Yeah, you have to remember, again, only 8,000 homes for sale in the Twin Cities. And so really there is not enough supply. Again, talking to agents who will be sending out notes saying, hey, I have a buyer need. In other words, a buyer who's pre-approved, area, type of home, price range, and they can't find a property for sale. And so for many sellers, it's definitely still a seller's market. It's just realizing that pricing, again, is super important. Pricing your home at the actual value, not overpricing. We see it a lot, again, where I saw a listing the other day that was it was $306,000 was the listing price. And again, we've talked on the show that usually it always makes sense to price right at that number. Say, for example, $300,000, because when people are searching online, they're looking up to that number, 300,000, or as well as maybe they bump up to 325. And so you're catching, like, say they're looking from 300 to 350. You catch it in that scenario, the home will show up. It will also show up if you look from 0 to 300,000.
Yeah.
If you're at 306, you're not being seen in the search.
Yeah, and I think I had these statistics at one point, and I've got them in memory, but I cannot find where I got them. But I believe when you go over 300,000, I believe it's 38% of buyers that you lose out on. So that means if you listed at 300,000 and a buck, you just lost 38% of the buyers because they don't see you because they're searching from 250 to 300,000. And so whenever I see the 306 or 305,000 or 405,000, I always cringe because you're losing all those buyers. And it's multiple offers that drive your value. It's not trying to get that extra $5,000 or $6,000. You want 5 offers, not one offer. That's where you get your money.
Mike, we've got a new listing. Wanted to touch on Cecilia Giron, awesome agent on the Minnesota real estate team. She has a brand new one. This one is in St. Paul, and it's listed for $239,900, $239,900, 1143 White Bear Avenue, and it's a 3-bed, 2-bath, 2-car garage home. It's ready for new owners. Bright colors, fresh paint, new carpet, full basement with a family room, 2 bonus rooms, and a cozy backyard awaits your finishing touches. It's on the market today, just listed, $239,900. Cecilia with the Minnesota real estate team, Remax Advantage Plus has that listed. Nice property.
That is a nice property. Hey, I was thinking about something when we go to break here. 612-294-6949. Text us in your biggest pet peeve. Things that a pet peeve is something that really bothers you. And I think that'd be fun. I actually heard it on a show the other day, and it was pretty funny. So if you're listening to the show or following us on Facebook, go ahead and just type in or text us your biggest pet peeve.
Yeah, before the break, had a question here that just said, I was just wondering if there's a mortgage calculator out there that you guys would recommend. I basically just want to be able to estimate what my mortgage would be with rates fluctuating so much. Mike?
You can go right to my website, apply-with-mike.com. Right on the homepage, if you scroll towards the bottom, there's a fully functioning mortgage calculator right there. Piece of cake. You plug everything in that you want to. You can run all the different scenarios you want. It'll spit everything out for you.
Apply-with-mike.com is where you can go. Mike, I interrupted you before you were going to comment on something.
Well, I was going to say, you guys, I remember the first time that we got down to 10,000 listings, which was several years ago.
Mhm.
We have not reached 10,000 listings since then. It was a big deal because we're just like 10,000. That's all we got for homes, and we've been underneath that for how many years in a row now? Do you think we'll see 10,000 listings by the end of the year?
I don't.
We continue to grow. I don't think so either, probably.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think if you look at the numbers every week coming on, even though our you're down 25%, but like we've said this forever, we could gain 25% inventory for the next 5 years and not be at a balanced market. And so when you look at 1,800 new homes coming on, but 1,600 homes going off, and yeah, that's a drop of 25%, but it's still only a difference of 100 homes. So if you look out over the next 5 months, if you're gaining 400 homes, you're still not going to be at 10,000 homes.
Final break here at the Minnesota Real Estate Show, 612-294-6949. Throughout the week, you can call us at that number. You can text us. If you're a buyer, seller, real estate investor, we're doing those free seminars every month in Bloomington. mnrealestateshow.com is where you can go. Thanks for tuning in to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Final segment, home stretch. Thanks for your comments on Facebook Live. Mike, do you think we'll get to 10,000 homes?
Probably not.
No?
No, I'd be curious. I don't know. We might get close, maybe.
I was just doing the math. So let's say those numbers are consistent and we're gaining 100 homes a week. And we've got basically August, September, October, November. So that's 400. Yeah, we would. I mean, if we continue to gain 100 homes a week, we would be at 10,000 right there. Yeah, about 10,400. I don't think we're going to continue getting 100 homes a week, but if we did, we'd be there.
Yeah, I think with the fall rush like we usually do.
Mhm.
I mean, almost every single year, our 2 busiest closing months are May is number 1 typically, and then November and June battle for that second spot, and everyone's like, you got the most closings in November. That's your second most closings through the year. And it's because anyone who doesn't get in the summertime takes that summer break off. They get past Labor Day, they get past getting their kids in their new school routine. And now it's go time for the end of September and October to get your purchase agreements accepted, close in November before the snow flies.
Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. Final segment at the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Whether you're just catching a little bit or watching the entire show, thank you. mnrealestateshow.com is where you can learn about the two teams, about Scott Wollmering, the We team, the Minnesota Real Estate team, and of course our friends at Luminate Home Loans. Hudson Murphy came in this week. Mike did a nice job with our team talking about what you guys are doing to help buyers.
Yeah, so we have a couple different things. I mean, we have a close on time guarantee now. So $15,000 is the check will write if we don't close on time. There's obviously caveats that come with that, right? So you got to give us at least 30 days to close. You can't schedule closing for next week and expect us to hit that closing date. There are times where we'll hit that, but we're not going to obviously guarantee that. But there's certain things that come with it. We have a $15,000 close on time guarantee. We also have a lock and shop deal where if you think rates are going to continue to go up, you can actually lock your rate now before you actually find a house. So you can lock your rate and then go find your house after that. And then we have a 2-1 buy down deal too. So now, in this type of market, people are getting creative. New construction and builders are getting creative on their financing side too. So now we have a 2-1 buy down as well. So maybe instead of doing a price reduction, maybe offer a 2-1 buy down or something to help that sale.
Very interesting. We're having some of the biggest pet peeves come in.
Oh, we are. Yeah. Before, we'll read those when we go back on air. But what's your biggest pet peeve?
My biggest pet peeve? You put me on the spot. I got to think about it first. I have to think about that one a little bit.
Mine is people on an airplane that grab their suitcase and cut in line. It drives me crazy. I'm like, it's so rude.
Well, they need to get off.
I'm like, it's so rude. I'm like, like nobody else on the plane matters. They skip ahead 4 rows, grab their suitcase to get out.
Dude, they need to get off though.
I'm the same way with when you're going on 35W and you got guys that drive in that left lane all the way up and then scoot over right when there's a line.
Welcome back to the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Yeah, we love it, Robbie. I love it, man. Hey, Robbie, we're going to start out with you here in this final segment, Robbie. We just asked for people's biggest pet peeve. We're getting a variety of comments here. What do you got for us? When people in the left lane don't drive, but you are from New York.
When there's a gap in between you, in front of you, and there's like a football field, like the car in front of you. Can you speed up just a little bit, please?
Yes.
Robbie, I love Robbie. Please speed up, Robbie says.
Yeah, I just got one from Marie, a regard. So my biggest pet peeve is when people follow too close behind me when I'm driving, especially on the freeway.
That's Robbie.
Especially on the freeway when I'm at a red light. I love my BMW convertible. I don't want to be rear-ended. Really good point.
Yes.
Close driving. Or Brad Sanford. Brad, awesome insurance agent, partner with the Minnesota Real Estate Show. Brad says, my wife says her pet peeve is animals dressed as humans.
Oh, I'm totally with you, Brad. I am totally with you. Or pet owners that get their dogs little ice cream cones.
Oh, I'm in that category.
No, I know. Yeah. I was talking to Ryan one day, and he's like, "What'd you call it? A D-done?" Or he's some. And what are you doing? I'm getting Pokey a ice cream cone. I'm like, what? What are they called? It was.
See, Scott, that's what that's all about compassion
Yes.
and just being good to animals. Hey, biggest pet peeve, Bill, Mike, do you have one off the top of your head?
The left lane, if you're not the fastest car on the road, don't be in the left lane.
Yeah.
Just don't.
I bet you that's one for a lot.
That's probably, if we're doing prices right, that might be.
That's one for a lot.
What do you think,
a lot of
Robbie?
people.
Yes. Yeah. Family Feud. Yeah. Wrong game. Wrong game show. The other one Scott had, which is good. Tell people what your pet peeve is.
But my pet peeve is when and people on an airplane grab their suitcase and skip ahead 3 or 4 rows when you're exiting. It's just it's the rudest thing in the world. You know who I do love though? I love the truck drivers that when there's a line on 35W to exit, and you've got a guy whipping down the left lane that's going to go all the way to the front and cut in, that they'll open their doors.
Wow.
So that you've got to stop. I've seen it like multiple times.
That's awesome.
And you got a guy that's honking, and the guy's like, "Nope, that's it."
Now, so my brother-in-law will argue that with you. He said that zipper merge, you're supposed
Yes.
to fill
Zipper
You're
merge.
supposed to fill both lanes. You don't form this single lane way back here and leave all this space. You fill it, and then you take turns at the front.
Well, there's a social grace that is, yeah. I mean, because I do it. I don't go to the last car and get in line. I go up, until I'm, maybe, I don't know, 600 feet from where you're going to exit, and then I'll scooch over. I'm talking about the ones that go all the way up to
All the way to the
all
end.
the way right to where you're gonna merge to get over and then merge up. I mean, I can't stand it.
There is a lot of thought about zipper merging. Hey, before I forget, I've got one other listing. Andy McNair, Remax Advantage Plus, the Minnesota real estate team. He has one in Cottage Grove, 319.9, 7853 Hillside Trail South, 319.9. 3-bed, 2-bath, 1,803 square feet. Andy describes it as a charming rambler with great landscaping, large fenced-in backyard, tons of updates in the last few years. Kitchen remodel, new appliances, remodeled main level bathroom, a new washer dryer, very high-end Boral LP siding, all in 2020. Open dining room, the living room for entertaining, large 3-season porch. The roof is to be replaced by insurance, will be completed prior to closing, and it's a great location within walking distance to schools, parks, shopping, restaurants, and the grocery store. Check that out, 7853 Hillside Trail, $319.9. From an affordability standpoint, Mike, what's the payment on something like that? If you have a buyer who's doing $319.9, say they are a conventional buyer, maybe 5% down, maybe they're a little more than 3.5%. 5% down, ballpark range.
Taxes and insurance, everything included.
Yeah.
You're probably around $2,000 maybe.
That's what I was gonna say.
Okay, $2,000. So, and again, from a rental standpoint, rents are up 16%. Rents are expensive, but again, you need how much to get into that property to buy this property, for example?
Where's it at?
Cottage Grove.
Cottage Grove. So you could do as little as 3% down on conventional if you qualify for that. Otherwise, 5% would be the next step for a down payment on the conventional side of things. Otherwise, FHA is 3.5.
So about 10 grand.
Or 0 down.
So if you're a veteran and you qualify for VA loan, you could do 0 down on that. Absolutely. Or if you can get a down payment assistance offer to be accepted on that, you could also do down payment assistance. Potentially get in with as little as $1,000 out of your own pocket.
Okay. Had another pet peeve come in that says, it says, my mother and father both smack their lips. And my little brother glurps whenever he imbibes something. What I'd give for some peace and quiet.
Yeah, that'd be up there for a lot of people too. Smacking when you eat your food. I was guilty of that as a kid, and it drove my dad absolutely crazy.
Oh man, how did we get up? How did we get on this topic of pet peeves, the most common pet peeves? Hey, we talked about the last 6 months, what we think is going to happen with the real estate market. Mike, any other thoughts to share about the last 6 months here, mortgage, real estate?
I think, to be honest with you, I think it's going to be a good opportunity to buy. So if you're a buyer out there, I still think it's a good opportunity out there. I think rates will trickle down a little bit. Probably nothing too crazy by the end of the year, but like I said, I think at some point next year, we're going to be all the way down into the 4s somewhere. Jumbo rates are already in the 4s, already at 4.625 on a 30-year there. that could even drift into the high threes potentially. Conventional and FHAs and stuff, somewhere in the low to mid fours, I'm guessing some point next year. I even think this fall, I mean, you might even see like a 4.75 or a 4.99 sometime between now and the end of the year. So if you're an FHA buyer or VA buyer and you had frustrations earlier this year to buy, that's going to be way different for them this fall. Interest rates are going to be a little bit lower than they were this spring. So I think it's going to be actually a pretty good fall.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I really agree that if you're an FHA or VA buyer, you want to buy now in this year, because make no mistake about it, 8,400 homes is still not a lot of homes. And if everything stays consistent, we're going to drop down next year at the beginning of the spring market back into that 5,000-6,000 homes again. And if rates drop into the fours, you're going to be in the same situation you were this year. You're not going to be able to buy anything. And so if you're listening to the show and you go, oh, well, I'm an FHA buyer, I'll wait till next spring to buy because then rates will be in the fours. I'm telling you, you're probably not going to be able to buy.
Yeah.
And so buy now, refinance, get yourself a house.
Exactly.
Because if you wait until next spring, I can almost with reasonable certainty tell you that we're going to be in an incredibly aggressive market again.
People who talk too loudly on the phone.
Pet peeve?
When the toilet seat is left up.
Oh, yeah. That
Oh,
would be-
see it.
Whiners.
Yes.
Okay. Rude drivers. Being referred to as a boy or a girl when you are legally an adult.
Oh.
Know-it-alls is another one. Getting gum on your shoe. Dirty dishes in the sink.
I got one with my wife.
Okay.
The way the toilet paper rolls off.
Oh, my gosh.
It's got to be the back so you can't see where the end of the toilet paper is.
My biggest one, I just realized it. My biggest one is the proper way to fill a dishwasher. There is a correct way to do it, and there's an incorrect way to do it, and it is my biggest pet peeve.
Hey, it's been a fun show, the Minnesota Real Estate Show. We're here to help with any of your questions, buying, selling, investing in real estate, mnrealestateshow.com. Mike Overson, applywithmike.com. Connect with him and his team. Awesome job, buddy.
Thanks for having me. Always appreciate it.
Yeah, great job, Mike. Scott Wolmering, nice job, buddy.
Yeah, good to be here. Thanks, everybody, for tuning in. We'll be back here next Saturday, every Saturday from 10 o'clock to 11 o'clock, and have a great weekend.
Big thanks again to Robbie from the morning show here who came in this weekend to help us. Thank you, Robbie. We are grateful for you and your efforts. It's been a fun show. We'll be back next weekend. Take care. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Pet peeves, a lot of good ones. We'll be back next Saturday, and we'll be into August. Can you believe it? Take care, everybody.